specifically, today's discussion will be centered around something that's very important to everyone. So it's how to slow down the aging process by improving your nutrition. So I'm going to turn it over to Karen to get us started.
Okay. So let's talk about two parts of the aging process, or two ways to describe the aging process. One is your lifespan, and your lifespan is the number of years that you are living. So if you live to be 75, your lifespan is 75. Your health span, on the other hand, is a little bit different. It's the number of quality years in your lifespan. So you may live to be 85, but you may maybe say at age 70 start to really suffer, from a chronic disease, and your quality of life is not what it could be and what you would like it to be. So your health span and your lifespan are two different things. The ultimate goal of, I would say everyone, is to be able to live the longest life possible and to be able to enjoy those years to the fullest, and be able to, enjoy activities yourself to stay active, enjoy your kids, your grandkids. And that is our goal of today's presentation. So Grace, do you want to, I wanted to ask a question, and then I'm going to have Grace share her answer to it. I want you to really think about the people in your life, your friends, your neighbors, your, close family, extended family. How many people do you know that their life was cut short, either by, suffering a great deal from a chronic disease, or maybe their, life was cut short because of that disease. And, think about how many people that have had that experience. Grace, I know you have something to share.
Yes, thank you, Karen. Yes, when you asked me that question and I had to reflect on it, it's sad to think about. I think if I added up all my friends and family members, it would be more than I can count on two hands, honestly. So that is why your story specifically is such an inspiration to me, to see how what we eat can reverse diseases. So, and it can change your life as well as your family's trajectory of their life. So I have been amazed by your story, and I am excited for you to share it tonight with everybody on this live specifically. For me, I've been taking what I learned from Karen and trying to be proactive with mine and my family's health. So year to year, I've been constantly researching and staying on top of the latest health topics, but my goals have changed through the years, pretty much. So for me, it used to be weight loss and the number on the scale. But however, as a mom, my goals changed. So it became to improve my health, vitality, and the health span, as Karen was saying. So spending my life in good health, like watching my girls grow up. So as I became a mom, I became focused on my daughter's health as well. So when I was pregnant, making sure I was eating the best nutrients so that for the growth and development of the baby. And as a postpartum, 10-month postpartum and a breastfeeding mama right now, I want to make sure my milk is nutrient dense. So I'm making sure I'm consuming the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals needed to make sure that I'm producing the best milk for them. So in other weekly videos, I'll share more about that, specifics about my love for Ningxia and my antioxidants. So I'm so glad that I came across Karen's nutritional healing Facebook group, because I've been learning different strategies and tips and watching her videos and whatnot. So thank you, Karen, for that group. And I am excited to learn tonight as well, the different tips and strategies and some education to help you improve your health span. So I'll turn it back over for Karen to share her amazing story.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Okay, so unfortunately, my story is kind of a sad one as far as my relatives. I have 3 immediate family members whose lives were cut short due to chronic disease, specifically high blood pressure and heart disease. My father passed away from a heart attack at age 61, and my brother, just a few years ago at age 57, had a heart attack and passed away. They were both taking blood pressure medication and seemed to have it under control. My mom suffered from 3 strokes. So she, her last few years of her life were a lot of suffering, and she ended up passing away from congestive heart failure. And again, she took medication for her heart. So my story begins a couple of years ago. I was on the same road that, my family members were. I suffered from high blood pressure. I was, in a very stressful job as a middle school teacher. I abused alcohol to help me deal with that stress. I was on antidepressants. And I survived. I just kept going day to day to day. And, I made it work. But it wasn't until 2 years ago, I started having some symptoms of, severe fluid buildup in my abdomen and just not feeling good at all, and ended up in the hospital and was diagnosed with liver cirrhosis. And that was a huge wake-up call to me. So I immediately, stopped drinking any alcohol. I haven't had any in 2 years now. I just had my anniversary last month. But that wasn't all I needed. I needed not only to stop the drinking, I needed to heal my body. And in looking through, I knew I needed to do it through nutrition. And I had heard of Dr. Joel Fuhrman and had a couple of his books from, years ago. And I picked up those books and I started looking at it, and it just made complete sense to me. His diet is called the nutritarian diet. So it's a high nutrient focused diet, mostly plant-based. And I started that diet right away. And now 2 years later, I am completely disease-free. I am off of all of my medications. I was on 3 different blood pressure medications, an antidepressant. I was on fluid pills for, the buildup. I was on, well, anyway, so today I'm not taking any of those medications, and my blood pressure is 100% normal without anything. It's just the change in my lifestyle and the foods that I'm putting in my body. And I realized, when I did more research into the nutritarian diet, it wasn't just the alcohol that made me sick. It was a lot of the food choices that I was making that I didn't realize were not healthy. So I am just so grateful that I found the nutritarian diet, which is why I am, so passionate about being a coach now, so I can share that information with other people. Okay. And let's see. All right. So, and one other thing, I was just going through my notes to make sure I covered everything. In the process of becoming healthier, I also lost 60 pounds. So like Grace was saying, losing weight should not be your main focus. You want to do this for your health. And if you do eat nutritious foods for your health and you're overweight, you're going to lose the weight. It happens naturally. And losing weight is one of the best things you can do for your health, because just being overweight puts you at risk of chronic disease. Okay, so now I'd like to share my screen. I have a presentation for you about how to extend your health span through improved nutrition. So let me go ahead and share that. And can you see my screen?
Yes, now I can.
Yay! Always love when that happens.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a quote from Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and it says, "You cannot escape from the biological law of cause and effect. Food choices are the most significant cause of disease and premature death." And I'm living proof of that with my family. Okay, so that's what we just identified was food is the #1 most important influence, but there are other influences. exercise, whether you're, staying active, that has a lot to do with your health span. The stress that you're under. Now that I'm retired, that stress level has, really come down, which has really helped with my situation as well. Your sleep. Sleep is when you are healing your body. And if you're not getting enough sleep, I see Gracie.
I'm the biggest
kids and
advocate, but I'm like 8 hours, please. I need 8 hours.
But sleep is so important to staying healthy. Your exposure to drugs and chemicals in the environment. So, what the other topics that we talk about on these presentations, the personal care products you're using have, a lot of them have chemicals in them, and cleaning products, which is kind of ironic. Okay, air and water quality make a huge difference. Okay, but food is the number one most important. All right, so when you talk about food, there are macronutrients and there are micronutrients, and there's a big difference. Macronutrients are the calories that you eat. These are the labels that you see on the foods in the grocery store. So you have fats, carbohydrates, protein, and these three food groups provide, or these three categories, provide energy for your body. So it's kind of like putting gasoline in the car to make it run. Then there's micronutrients. Micronutrients do not have calories. They are your vitamins, your minerals, antioxidants, which are mostly found in plants. There are some antioxidants in animal foods, but mostly in plants. And phytonutrients, which are plant chemicals, and they're good chemicals, and they're only found in plants. And there are thousands of them. Now, vitamins and minerals, I think there's maybe 13 different vitamins and maybe 23, 24 minerals. Antioxidants, that I'm not too sure about, but I know with phytonutrients, there are thousands of them. Okay, and then the micronutrients are essential for a healthy immune system, for detoxing, getting rid of the waste products in your body, and for cellular repair. So, putting gas in the car with your macronutrients is one thing, but making that car run efficiently and last a long time is really the job of the micronutrients. They're so very important. And as you can see, most of them are in plant foods, and even the vitamins and minerals. There are many more vitamins and minerals in plant foods than there are animal foods. Okay, and this is just, obviously you cannot read this because there are, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of micronutrients. This is all the identified micronutrients in an apple. And the nutrition facts of an apple are here on the left, where you have the total fat 0, carbohydrates 34 grams, protein 1 gram. So that only gives you a limited picture. When you look at all of the plant chemicals, which they don't tell you about, on the label or on the, it's amazing when you think about it that way. Okay, so let's take a look at the standard American diet, and how ironic that the initials, abbreviation is SAD, because really it is. We are sicker than we've ever been as Americans, and we definitely need to make changes. Okay, so the standard American diet consists of mostly low nutrient foods. Only 2% of calories in studies that they've done in the standard American diet are from vegetables, and vegetables are highest in the micronutrients. Okay, refined grains, which is like white flour, processed foods, oils, sugar, all of these things lack essential micronutrients. Animal products, meat, eggs, dairy, and fish are relatively low in vitamin and minerals compared to plant foods. I'm not saying there's none in there are, but they're not as many as plant foods. And the standard American diet is seriously lacking in antioxidants and phytonutrients, which are found almost entirely in plants. Okay, the cost of insufficient nutrients. So if you're following the standard American diet and you're not getting enough micronutrients, here's what it's going to cost you. Today in the present, you may just feel unwell. You might be overweight and get sick a lot. In the future, you may very well suffer from chronic disease, loss of brain function and memory as you age. You know, a lot of people think you're just going to lose your brain function and your memory, and that's natural. It's not. It's because you don't have enough of those good fats in your diet. You know, for so many years, you know, they kept saying, you know, low fat, low fat, low fat. Well, your body needs fat. It just needs healthy fats.
Mhm.
And down the road, if you are lacking in insufficient nutrients and you have been, you know, for several years, you could, you know, very well have years taken from your lifespan. Okay, so that's the kind of the, you know, the negative part of it. Now let's switch to the positive. What can you do to reverse this? Because it's 100% possible. The health equation, H equals N over C. So health span equals nutrients per calorie of your diet. So the more nutrients per calorie that you're eating, the longer your health span, the more time you're going to have on this planet being able to live the life that you want to live. That's also called nutrient density. And they're looking at micronutrients when we're talking about nutrients per calorie. And you literally are what you eat. So if you're eating a lot of processed foods, you're stopping at, you know, fast foods, and you're eating donuts and, you know, pizza, and, you know, that's the mainstay of your diet, your cells are not going to be very healthy cells. Your cartilage is not going to be very strong. Your blood vessels are going to be weaker than if you had nutrients. So really, you know, you don't see what happens on the inside, but you are what you eat. And by eating a wide variety of colorful, nutrient-rich plant foods, so eating the rainbow, you can make your body resistant to chronic diseases, including cancer, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune disease, and other chronic conditions. All right, so how do we make this work? Dr. Furman has come up with an acronym called G-BOMBs, and G-BOMBs are the 6 foods that are the you know, most nutrient dense, disease fighting, immune system boosting foods that you can eat, and he recommends that you eat them every day. And these foods that I'm about to show you are scientifically proven to protect against cancer and other chronic diseases. Okay, so the G stands for greens. Leafy greens are the most nutrient dense of all foods. Okay, leafy greens are the most nutrient dense. So if you're not eating leafy greens, either cooked or in a salad, both would be great, because, you know, cooked food, cooked vegetables and raw vegetables bring kind of different benefits to the table. So you want to be eating a variety of cooked and raw vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables have very strong anti-cancer effects. So when we say cruciferous, we mean like kale, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Okay, those are your anti-cancer green vegetables. Okay, the B stands for beans. Beans are the most nutrient-dense source of carbohydrates. They're ideal for weight loss, and they are also ideal for anti-diabetes. Beans are digested very slowly, so they really stabilize your blood sugar levels. And you don't digest all of the calories in your beans. A lot of them get taken through without being digested, and that pulls out like fats and other things along with it. So they really do kind of clear out your system. And, you know, you might say, well, I don't want to eat all those calories. You know, you're not actually absorbing all of those calories when you eat the beans. Onions. Onions are in the allium family, and that includes also leeks, garlic, chives, shallots, and scallions. And onions benefit the cardiovascular and immune system. They provide anti-cancer and anti-diabetic benefits or effects. So you want to be eating onions every day if you can. If try to eat some raw onion every day. I like to put onions in my salad. I love red onion, but if you're not a fan of strong onions, you might want to try maybe cutting up some scallions, those green spring onions. They're a little milder and they have, the same benefits. Mushrooms is the M in G bombs. All types of mushrooms have anti-cancer properties. Even eating one mushroom a day will benefit and help protect you from cancer. Just one mushroom a day. Who can't do that, right?
Right.
Okay, the key with mushrooms is they should be eaten cooked and not raw. There is a carcinogen that is in, raw or possibly in raw mushrooms that is, really canceled out when you cook them. So make sure you're not eating the raw mushrooms. Okay, the second B is for berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries are true superfoods. They're linked to reduced risk of diabetes, cancers, and cognitive decline. So that's a great way if you're eating berries every day. I either have a berry in a smoothie or like in my oatmeal, I'll fix oatmeal for breakfast and cut up some berries on it. It doesn't matter if they're frozen or fresh. But if you do get fresh berries, please make sure you're getting organic or you're, using some kind of vegetable, what do you call it, Grace? Cleaning agent, because they are on the dirty dozen list. Yep. Put out by the Environmental Working Group. Okay, and then seeds is the the S. Seeds and nuts are included in that as well. They increase absorption of nutrients in vegetables. So you want to make sure that you're eating nuts and seeds with your meal because they helped your body absorb the nutrients. You want to make sure you're getting raw and not roasted because a lot of the nutrients are kind of taken out when they're roasted at those high temperatures. And unsalted, obviously for, blood pressure and things like that, and eat them in moderation. They are kind of high in calories. So you might want to eat 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces of nuts or seeds every day. Okay. And a daily prescription for, nutritional healing or to extend your health span would be to have a large salad. I have a salad for lunch every day. I mix it up. Today I had a big salad. I made some mango salsa that had fresh mango in it and spring onions and a little bit of jalapeno pepper and lemon juice. And I put that on my salad along with some raw corn on the cob. I didn't cook it. I just cut it off the cob with some avocado. Oh my gosh, it was so good. You can, there's all kinds of different ways you can eat salads. 1.5 ounces of raw nuts and seeds each day. And you can do that. You can have that on your oatmeal. You can eat it. Just have maybe some berries and nuts for breakfast, or you can, I like to put tahini on my salad along with some, oil or not oil. Oh my gosh. Along with some vinegar. Okay. You want to have, at least 1/2 cup of serving of beans or legumes. So legumes are, like peas and, chickpeas, but they all kind of go together as beans. If you're not a bean eater, you might want to start with just a tablespoon because they are great for healthy gut bacteria, by the way, beans. But if you're not used to eating them, you will find yourself being a little on the gassy side. So just work up to it. I probably eat at least 1 cup of beans a day. Okay, at least 1 large serving of a steamed green vegetable, mushrooms and onions daily. So I usually, I have a Instant Pot and I will put like some broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms, onions, and just cook them all together and, have that during the week. And at least 3 servings of fruit, and one of those should be berries. The other fruits can be pretty much anything that you want it to be. And that's a place to start. It really is. If you can make just, start with one of these, take a screenshot of this and just start with one, and then add a second one and add another one. And you're going to find that, you're starting to feel better. You're also going to find that you're not, when you eat low nutrient foods, your body, when it goes to digest them, is going to say, what in the world? I need nutrients to help me digest this junk that they've just put in, in my stomach. And you're going to be hungry a couple hours later. You're going to have cravings. When you eat high nutrient foods, you're going to have breakfast and you're not going to be hungry until lunch. There's no need to have a snack because you're not hungry, literally. And then if you have lunch, you're not going to, if you had enough for lunch, enough of the high nutrient foods, you're not going to be hungry until dinner time. I know people probably don't believe that, but I don't snack at all, not a bit.
Amazing.
And I don't get hungry until it's mealtime. And when you're not eating, when you're eating high nutrient foods, you'll notice when you're hungry, you don't feel it in your stomach. You feel it in your upper chest and your throat, and your mouth starts to water when you think about, I'm hungry. It's amazing.
I never realized that.
So anyway, let me, so my website, if you want to know more about the nutritarian diet, or my coaching packages, you can check out my website at nutritionalhealing.coach. My Facebook page is called, the Facebook group is called Nutritional Healing with Karen Schrafer. So you can take a look at that. I'll put the link to, and if you go to the website, I offer a free coaching session. So if you go to nutritionalhealing.coach, there's a link there that you can click to set an appointment. I'll also put a link to my online calendar in the comments. So if you want to schedule, just a free consultation or a coaching session, we can kind of take a look at what you're eating, and I can give you some tips, on how you can start on your journey to better health.